Hi, Thomas. Thank you so much for this interview opportunity. It's a great honor to be interviewing you. How are
Thank
you
you.
doing?
Happy to be here. I'm fine. You know, today have been one of those boring days. I have been waiting for a package from IKEA that didn't appear. So I've been just walking around forward and back. But
Yeah,
otherwise, apart from that, great. Great.
yeah, and you must be also receiving the package for the new Therion album with CDs and everything, because
I
it will
have
be
it.
released this Friday, or you have it already?
I have it. I had it last week.
Yeah.
I had it
Okay,
last
and
week.
how have the reactions been so far to that album?
Well, for the few people who have heard it, has been very good, actually. Very good. And I think I'm overwhelmed by that. And to those, I played it, of course, for a couple of friends, um, and they are not fans. And I like to play it for people who are not into the band to see what they are thinking, and they really like it. Say it's very different,
Hmm. Yeah.
and I think it's different from the previous two.
Yeah, and as Christopher said, this album is more focused on pleasing the diehard fans of the band. Do you agree with him on that
A
sense?
little, a little. I mean, we did when we started to record this trilogy. Uh, we didn't start it with the idea to make three records. We started we started to work on it just when the pandemic hit. When that big lockdown came. So basically, we were having no other things to do than to write music. 9 to 5, and before we knew it, we had so many songs. That we have to. We told each other we have to stop now because it's enough. More than enough. So
Yeah.
Christopher came up with the idea. So let's make three albums instead of one, and call them Leviathan 1, Leviathan 2, and Leviathan 3. So that's how it came about. And also, the styles are different from each one of them. The first one, we choose to put the more commercial songs on, commercial in Therion sense.
Yeah.
Uh, and the second is a little bit darker in the atmosphere, and I think this third one is the one where we let loose a little bit. It's more progressive, it's more more experimental, and more playful, if you want.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm very proud of it. Have you heard it?
Yeah, I have it. It sounds really good. It's
Yeah,
not
thank you.
your average Therion album. I mean, not classical like Woven, for example, or Mike Telly. But yeah, it's a really great album. You should be really proud
Thank
of
you.
it. And
Thank you so much.
you were just saying that this is the third album of the Leviathan trilogy.
Yeah.
Is there any story linking the three albums? Any concept behind it?
Pardon me? Is
Is
there
there any
any?
story linking the three albums, the three parts of the trilogy?
Not at all. I mean, this could have been called the COVID sessions, but it's cooler with Leviathan. So it's no bigger storyline in between them. No, it's not.
Mhm.
It's not.
Yeah, and so what does this album talk lyrically?
It's very different. It's not like Beloved Antichrist, which has a story to it. For example, this is songs that are totally separate from each other with separate stories. But of course, they are complex in the way that Therion lyrics always are. You know, they are written by Per Albinsson, a poet that lives in Sweden that has been working with us since Beloved Antichrist. And I mean, I usually tell the guy, you know this shit. And he does. I could never write lyrics like that in this kind of subject. I
Mhm.
write a lot of songs for other bands, and other artists, but those lyrics are more, standards, and those I
Yeah.
can write, but I could never go to his level. So I better let someone who can do that do it.
Yeah, and how hard is it to sing lyrics that aren't yours in these songs?
No, I mean, since I worked as an actor as well, I have to interpret lyrics,
Mhm.
you know, to
Yeah.
to to make them feel truthworthy, you know. if somebody give me the telephone catalog, the yellow pages, I have to sing that in a good way. I'm not comparing his lyrics with the telephone catalog, but you know what I mean. It's not a problem. It's worse to sing good on lyrics that are bad, that you don't like. And I love his lyrics, you know.
Mhm.
It's just on a level of expressing words that I don't have, which is good because it pushes me to do better.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean the Therion's lyrics have always been really, really great, and this album is no exception, you know.
Yeah. I mean, we always have been doing that in this band. I mean, if I if we feel that somebody can do something better than we can, in a sense, in an album, it's more, I mean, for us, it's more important that the album becomes good
Mhm.
rather than it has to be us all the time playing or singing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great way to do it. Now, since we're talking about your vocal performance, what did you do different in this album? Did you adopt any new technique, any new anything?
No, I mean, I try to, since we have been recording these three albums separate from each other,
Mhm.
I can do a little bit more as I want, you know, because I don't have anybody except myself who produce me. Otherwise, Christopher sits there, do like this, sing like this, sing like this. Now I can be more free because he's not there. Okay, I have the ground instruction on his songs. Here, I want you to sing like this or like this. But I think I have been experimenting a little bit more with the voice this time, you know.
Mhm.
And I remember we recorded a song called Maleficium that was not my favorite in the beginning, but now it is. I like it very much. Sometimes when Christopher writes a vocal melody, because that's his melody, his song from beginning to end, it's so sky high, you know, all the time. The
Yeah.
range that he writes. I mean, come on, Christopher. But I did it. And I'm really happy with how that came about, that song. Especially the first lines are not written for a man, it's for a boy soprano.
Yeah, and you know, throughout the years, Therion have always had different singers to interpret different roles, and now you're the only male singer, both live and on studio. How hard is it for you to do all those different roles?
Now it's kind of funny, but to tell you the truth, I I wouldn't mind if Snowy would still be in the band, for example. I would love that. I mean, it was fun to have another character, but I mean, I can't do magic, and I can't, you know, swing my magic wand and make him come back. He doesn't want. But if we're gonna take in another male singer, it has to be an opposite of me, you know, like he was
Mhm.
voice wise. So we'll see in the future. But right now, I I be the only rooster in the amongst the chickens.
Yeah, and you're doing a brilliant job. And you know,
Thank you.
which of these songs, not only from this album, but from also past Therion albums, are more challenging to sing live,
Blood
in your
of Kingo
opinion?
is Blood of Kingo is challenging. What more? Son of the Staves are pretty challenging to sing. And a song that are challenging to sing that many people think is simple is Lemuria,
Yeah,
because it's not so high, but it's hard to get to capture the right, how can I say, feeling in it every time, you know.
yeah,
And you're very naked when you sing it.
mhm,
So I
absolutely.
love when you come to the second chorus when everybody sings together, you know.
Yeah. Now, moving on to the composition part, you already said that all these songs were written like during the COVID sessions that you did. You also had some part in those composition process, right?
Yeah, more or less, I don't know how many percent, but more or less 50-50
Yeah,
in
and
this.
how was the composition process?
Well, like musical ping pong, you know, you sit with your, since we couldn't be together, we I have my studio and Christopher has his studio. So let's say he has a part of a verse or something like that. He sent me that. Can you make a melody on this? And I send it back, and he said, "Yeah, I like it, but can you change the end of this or blah blah blah?" And that's how it came about. Some of the songs were more or less done. You know what? I tend to send a song that are more or less as it should be to him. But I send it and say, "Do you have any ideas for this? Do you like it or not?" You know, like for example, the song "Ruler of Tamag." I've been written without thinking of Therion first of all. I was just writing a song, and let's see what it becomes. You know, no plans. And when it was done, I felt like, okay, I will try to send this to Tarja Turunen. Maybe she could do this very good. You know.
Mhm.
But I also thought that I would send it to Christopher first, and you never know, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe he likes it, and he liked it very much. And he said, "Can we please use this song on the next album? You know, because it's gonna be very good. But can I Therionize it a little bit?" And oh yeah, go ahead. And so I'm very pleased with how it came about. The song titles were not Ruler from of Tamag from the beginning. It was something else. Because when I do a demo for Therion, I have the song done, the melody done, but not the words. So I just sing something that you know, just to have the rhythm and the melody down.
Yeah.
Can be about whatever, you know. The working
Yeah.
titles are ridiculous, you know.
Yeah, and the words need to be written by the other guy that you were speaking earlier. So
Yeah, exactly. And the thing with him, he's the smallest obstacle because he's so fast, you know. I don't know how he does it. But you send a song to him and you can say, "I want this to be about this or that." Okay. I mean, 2 hours later, you have the lyrics. How did you do that? You know,
yeah, it's like human AI.
Yeah, sometimes I was wondering if it's using AI, but no, it's not.
Yeah, and as you said, these songs have been written during the COVID pandemic, so it's been what, like 3 years since they were all written. Have you been working on something that can be released in a future album yet?
No, well, we have songs that are not used yet, but and I don't know if most of them are not used because they're not good, because they just didn't fit in the concept. So we'll see about those, but it's gonna be more albums. But we don't have any idea what that album's gonna be or what style or when. But it's gonna be more. I can assure you that. Mm.
Yeah, that's great news. And
Yeah.
maybe some of those songs can also become part of the Leviathan 4, like post.
It's not gonna be a
No?
Leviathan 4. I don't think so. No, no, no. But
Yeah.
on the other hand, with this band, you don't know. Christopher might have a idea tomorrow, and he calls, "Hey, we're gonna do number 4."
Yeah.
I, I,
Yeah, he's the
I'm looking
mastermind behind
forward.
it all.
Yeah. Yeah, and he can change like this, you know. So you never know.
Mhm. Yeah, and it's been a lot of years for him with Therion. And all those
Yeah.
years, at least since 1993, were with Nuclear Blast releasing those albums. And now Leviathan 3 is via Napalm Records. Why did you decide to change label
Well,
for this album?
that's actually a thing between Christopher and Nuclear Blast. I think for me, it's not really a big difference, but I think they have been in a very good relation all his career, all the band's career, and it felt like a marriage that are going good, but the love is gone, so to speak. So it's better to go
Mhm.
split separate ways as friends, which is what happened. And now to try something new, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that's basically how he felt, and maybe Nuclear Blast as well. I don't know, but we
Mhm.
like it here, and the people on Napalm is treating us great. You know,
Yeah. And how did you establish that connection with Napalm Records?
not me, it's Christopher's.
Yeah.
But I
Okay.
think they have been, nagging his back a little bit during the last years.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird now, all those other albums, you look at them and you see like the little Nucard logo on the corner. Now this one doesn't have. It's going to be a little weird. I personally, at first, I didn't believe it. No, can't be. It's
Yeah.
Nucard for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Luckily, I would say I'm trying to stay out of the business part of it, because it's better that with one captain, who's doing that than two. We have a saying in Sweden, the worst, more than one cook, more than one cocinero cook,
Yeah.
the worse the soup will get.
Yeah. So maybe it's better that way.
Yeah.
Now, moving on a little bit, last summer you put on a brilliant show at the Milagro Metaleiro in Portugal. What memories do you keep from that show?
Well, first of all, I love coming to Portugal because I live in Spain now, and it's amazing when you cross the border over to Portugal, how different. I mean, it's not like Iceland and Iraq, but how different the culture is, and how different the food is, just with little land strip, in between.
Yeah.
And I mean, every time I've came to Portugal, it's been great, great. And I always make sure to have, what do you call, pastel de Natal?
Yeah. Mhm.
You don't call it that in every part, I learned. You
No, if
call
it's
it
in
Belén,
Lisbon, it's pastel
Belén,
de
Belén,
Belém.
Belén.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but only in
but
Lisbon.
yeah, but you call it, what do you call it otherwise? You
Uh,
call it,
pastel de nata.
yeah, pastel de nata, yeah. And I'm crazy about that.
Yeah,
Crazy
it's
about.
really good.
Oh, they sell it here too, but it's not the same thing,
Yeah. Yeah, and you must have loved the crowd because you have two more shows scheduled for Portugal for next year with your
Yeah.
upcoming tour. One in Porto and one in Lisbon. What are you preparing for that tour and for those shows especially?
Well, we rehearsal now on our own. We're soon gonna go to Mexico to rehearse for the whole tour, because we have a big thing coming up in Mexico in January. We're gonna do a concert there with full symphony orchestra and choir, and everything.
Mhm.
So we're going more than 1 week before to rehearsal for that, and at the same time we will rehearsal for the European tour that are coming up. So it's a lot of songs, big set list, um, working out a little bit, to
Yeah.
be in well, a better shape than I was half a year ago.
Yeah, and about that show that you're going to record in Mexico, what can you reveal about it? Is something like what Therion once did with the Miss Conk experience, or how's it going to be?
Well, I don't think we are certain yet exactly how it's gonna be, but it's gonna be massive. That's what I know. We have sold around 7,000 tickets, I think more actually. And
It's a big show.
yeah, and it's a huge set list, it's gonna be recorded, and big lights, big sound, So I'm really looking forward to it, The hardest thing when we plan a tour with Therion is to choose what songs not to play,
Yeah,
because there's so many songs to choose from right now.
exactly. Your career is so vast and so long. It's
Yeah, it
completely
is very
impossible.
long now, and no, we must play that. Yeah, but then we don't have time to play that. Okay, and you have to sit like that all the time.
Yeah.
And also, we have to think about the order of the songs, because we have the guitars in different tunings,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
we don't want to talk in between every song. We want some songs to go over from, for example, Blood of King go directly into Ginu Agap, for example.
Mhm.
But then we have to check if that's correct with the tuning, the guitars.
Yeah. And do you think
It's a
that
lot of
that
things going.
show will be later released as a live album, as it is such a huge production?
It's possible. It's possible. But I don't know anything about that. But I don't dismiss the idea at all. If the concert turned out to be good, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm
We
looking
will
forward to
record
it.
it I think we will make a Blu-ray on it.
Mhm.
And if you make that, you also have a live recording sound, you know. So I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too, because I also
Yeah.
want to see that, but I can't go to Mexico. So
Yeah, I'm very, very excited about it. I have this adrenaline pump, you know.
yeah.
Wait, yeah.
Now, shifting a little bit from Therion, earlier this year you sang on Nat's Young album Aí Marars Deep. How did
Yeah,
that come about?
well, that's funny because I'm a friend with I'm getting so old now. I'm friends with the father of the one guy in the band, you know.
Yeah.
So he wrote to me and hi, my father is this guy, you know. He had a band in Sweden called Leather Nun. And yeah, I know your father. What's up? Could you sing one line on our album? It was like very timid. Yeah, sure, bring it on. That's how it was. That's how it was. And I didn't know what to expect. And I had that, what the hell is this? Are they killing somebody? You know? My God. But then it was a line there. They said, what do you want me to do with it? Do what you want, they said. Okay.
Yeah, and, it's funny because that album really sounds like the old Therion sound, and
Yeah,
it's really funny that they chose you to sing on it.
very funny, very funny. I I was pretty shocked. And what do you want me to do here, you know? Because that's not really my type of music. I respect it, but it's not what I'm listening to, you know.
Yeah.
So
Well, Thomas, I think that's it. Thank you so much. Would you like to
thank
send
you
any
so much for
message to your
having me.
Portuguese fans?
Pardon me?
Would you like to send any message to your Portuguese fans?
Sure, sure I will. Okay, all the fans in Portugal, first of all, I want to say Merry Christmas to all of you. Buen Natal. I think that's correct. And in February or March, I don't know, I don't remember when, we are coming to Portugal to make 2 shows, one in Porto and one in Lisboa. And I hope to see you all there. It's going to be fun. We can take 1 beer or 2.
All right, man.
Okay.
Thank you so much. That's it.